What's up, plant family? Devin is here, and welcome to another installment of Houseplant Essentials, where I go through the basic care of some of the most popular houseplants. In today's installment, we are of course going to be talking about the money tree. Now, this is known as Pachira aquatica, sometimes Pachira glabra, and this comes from swampy regions of Central and South America. Now, this is a beautiful plant that has a tree-like form, very unique looking foliage. Oftentimes you can find them with these beautiful braided trunks, which have a very unique interest to them. Now, with regards to lighting, if you want your plants to actually grow, you're going to want to provide them a quite bright scenario, such as a southern facing window for those of us in the northern hemisphere, alternatively a northern facing window if you're in the southern hemisphere, or also a western facing window is great. However, a lot of us may find that our plant is at the size we want it to be at, and in that instance we can keep them in an eastern facing window that just gets some nice brightness, bright indirect light, and our plant will retain their size without really growing that much more. Now, with regards to its soil substrate, they like a very nice, well-draining soil substrate mix, so I tend to opt for a houseplant bagged potting mix, and I'll put 3 parts of that with 1 part of perlite, and that's going to really facilitate excellent drainage so that it doesn't stay waterlogged. And that brings us to our next topic, which would be watering. These definitely need to dry out between each watering cycle. I tend to water mine once every 2 weeks or so, and I really will feel that soil to ensure that it is exceptionally dry before I provide it with the next bit of watering. Now, if your plants stay too wet for too long and hence are waterlogged, that will be the #1 cause for a sad, droopy, dying money tree, all right? So you wanna make sure that it has good drainage, preferably with drainage holes, and that you are allowing them to dry out between waterings. Furthermore, the brighter location you have it growing in, the more quickly it will use its water. So if you are tending to overwater them, put it in a more bright location and they can utilize that water more quickly. Now, all of that being said, these can definitely go like an entire month without being watered, and they tend to be just all right. So if you're going on a long Euro trip for 6 weeks over the summertime, if you have a friend water them once during that 6-week period, that will be absolutely a-okay. Now, the next thing we need to consider is the size of our containers. These like to be grown in rather snug fitting containers. You can see right here, this plant is growing in just a small little like 4 or 5 inch pot. And I'm going to keep it in this size container until it's really filled it out, both above the surface of the soil as well as with its root growth within that container. The reason is that these do like to be rather root bound because yes, it facilitates good drainage, and that just tends to be what it's like in its native conditions in a swampy location where they have lots of competition for root space. These ones like to have confined root zones rather than being swimming in a large container. Now, as your plant is growing, you can absolutely upsize it to the next size container. About once every year to year and a half, just adding about 1 inch in diameter to the next size container is going to be perfect. And you can continue to do that until you reach the size of a container that is optimal for you, such as this guy over here. This I'm going to keep in this pot. I don't want it to get any bigger. And in terms of fertilizing, I will tend to fertilize mine on a quarterly basis, once every 3 months. I like to use my family's blend, Roberta's Bounty, very easy, water-soluble fertilizer. And as I was mentioning earlier, if you can find the braided ones, I think they're so absolutely beautiful. Oftentimes, their trunks will get nice and thick and bulbous as they grow and mature, which is very unique. And they have this tree-like structure, which makes them an incredible specimen. They're exceptionally long-lived. I've had this one is about 10 years old. My other one is about 25 years old. So it is going to be a part of the family over time. They're exceptionally easy to care for, very long-lived. They are a statement plant. And as they get larger, put them in a corner, put them somewhere where you need a bold statement because these will fill that area out beautifully. And that's pretty much all that you need to know in order to grow your money trees to their best performance possible. If you have any other further questions or comments, make sure to leave them below. I always do my best to answer each and every one of them. Don't forget, like this video, subscribe to our channel as well. We're bringing new plant-related content every single week. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. I'll catch you soon. Ciao.